My name is Caroline Poynton from Manchester. I am recording this today because I'm not copywriting. I'll tell you what I'm doing, I'm paying attention. Because one question I have to ask, why would King Charles give Sadiq Khan a fucking knighthood? What would King Charles give Sadiq Khan a knighthood for? Unless, like I've said on my last video, because it probably didn't have enough memory, that King Charles has changed his religion and he's changed it to be in Islam. So why would King Charles be doing that? What for when Sadiq Khan has caused this to Donald Trump and he's been caught now? The person that did the thing with BBC to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's now fucking suing the BBC. The person that started it all in first place with that was Sadiq Khan. He's been caught. Why would King Charles give him a knighthood?
Well, Sadiq Khan is the worst mayor of any capital city in the world.
Terrible mayor.
It's terrible.
And as an example, you know, I was a high-ranking officer, sort of always, or a president. Even as
and he
a
caused this to Donald Trump with BBC. It was Sadiq Khan. He's been caught, Sadiq Khan. I wonder what's going to happen now. Because now it's going out back on YouTube. Because he's been caught. Let's put it together now. And the person that did that to Donald Trump on BBC, whoever it was with BBC, that thing that's happened, it was Sadiq Khan that set it up in the first place.
You know, I was a respected person. He treated me very badly. I said, who is that guy? He's a terrible mayor. And look at the crime you have in London. My mother loved London. She loved that city. She'd always talk about, that was a different London than you have today. Today you have people being stabbed in the ass.
Stabbed in the ass, stabbed in the head.
No, it's crazy.
It's true, it's awful. It is, it feels much safer here.
Your mayor is a disaster.
It feels much safer in America than it is in England. So I'm telling you now, me and my little girl, we ain't safe. And I'll tell you one thing, pedo services have my little girl in this country wrongly, falsely adopted. I know what they want her for, Sadiq Khan, you fucking grooming gangs. You fucking cunt. And I hold King Charles responsible if anything happens to her. So I suggest they better go and get her and bring her back home to her mother, me. Before any fucking person tries to get hold of her for sex and grooming gangs or anything else.
Sure. Okay, I don't know him. I don't even know what. If you put him there, I wouldn't even know who he was. I can tell you he's a disaster. He's a nasty person.
Yeah, he's a nasty person. Why does King Charles?
He's letting crime go.
Absolutely nailed it, didn't he? President Trump has got Sadiq Khan bang to rights. Our capital city, once the greatest on earth, has descended into a knife crime hellhole where people are getting stabbed in the arse or worse.
Worse, yeah.
That is the
worst, mate.
It is. Because since 2016,
Khan became mayor,
overall rises in knife crime, enabled knife crime in London has risen by 54%. The statistics don't lie, do they? And Trump goes on to say we now have no-go Sharia law zones in London. Now, whilst we can't say that's entirely accurate, there is some truth in his words. Backroom councils which rule on Muslim marriages have surged in London. In fact, a report by the London Standard suggests there are at least 5 in the capital. Recently, it was stated in the press that there were now operating in Britain so much that it would become the Sharia capital
of the world.
Of the West.
No, of the world, I'd say.
Because
you're not allowed to do this in Saudi Arabia. Not allowed to do this in Saudi Arabia, though, are they? No, they're not. Or fucking... I bet they're not allowed to do this in Qatar or Saudi Arabia. So why are they allowed to do it
on
here?
The same side, eh? Yes, that was taken at a recent counter-protest in Whitechapel. Masked Muslim men marching through the streets in an act of what I think is intimidation, with some reports suggesting men were carrying
Sadiq Khan
bats.
Here, I carry your fucking bats and knives. Here we go.
Well, I don't personally
if they're allowing that, King Charles, the government, Sadiq Khan... Why would you give him a knighthood?
We haven't got the same sort of gangs that
no,
are in
I'll tell you what, we have got Sadiq Khan, the Poynton, the Coca-Cola and the drugger.
What does she mean?
Shut up, you fucking cokehead. Go buy some more coke off your drug dealers.
Exactly what I mean.
Why don't go sniff some more coke up his nose and don't tell me he's not cokehead. Can you see his fucking panda eyes?
For sex.
Yes, like you're going to be doing to My Little Girl. Yes. Because that's what he wants My Little Girl for. Ain't it?
These gangs of people that are grooming girls for sex.
That's what they want My Little Girl for. Pedo bastard services. Yes, it is. And AI and Google or anything else, don't fucking tell me it's not. You better bring this question up. This is an important question. What do they want My Little Girl for? I'll give you the answer. For people that want to groom her and have sex with her while she's underage, they better go and bring her back to me, her mother. Because I hold King Charles fucking responsible. Yeah, I do. He's changed into Islam. He's being held responsible like the rest of them.
Do we actually have those in London?
You little bastard. Why can't we deport him back to Pakistan? He's not even English. He's not British, he's not English. Why can't we deport him back to Pakistan? Because of King Charles giving him a knighthood. Why would King Charles give that a knighthood? Now we can't deport him and get rid of him. Thanks, King Charles, you cunt. King Charles is in the Bible. And the last video I just done was about the Bible and King Charles changing his religion.
Interesting, isn't it?
Interesting.
Actually have those in London.
Yes, we do. Why don't we deport him back to fucking Pakistan?
What is meant by the question?
Because he doesn't know what she means. He doesn't understand English. We have to deport him back to Pakistan.
Interesting, isn't
exactly.
it? Well, look, it's important to note because the left will scream and cry outrage over Trump's
King
comments.
Charles is a
It was
lefty.
Sadiq Khan that started the beef with the president in the first...
it was him, Sadiq Khan, that started it with fucking Donald Trump, and it was Sadiq Khan that set that up with BBC. Yep, and that's why Donald Trump's suing BBC.
On the 10th of December 2015, after Trump's presidential campaign pledged to ban some Muslim countries from travel and visas to the US, following, of course, the terrorist attack in Paris, Sadiq Khan called the ban outrageous on his campaign trail for Mayor of London. He then told the BBC that he hoped Trump loses badly. So it wasn't the president who started this, was it?
That's why he lost the last time. That's why he did lose the President Trump. That's why he did lose the election last time to fucking Joe Biden because of Sadiq Khan. Yep, and he was pulling Joe Biden's fucking strings. Probably won't be surprised if it was Sadiq Khan, Muslims and King Charles.
In fact, even after all of the comments interfering in Trump's election, the magnanimous president on the 10th of May 2016, after Khan was elected Mayor of London, suggested Khan would be exempt from his proposed travel ban and even added that the election of Sadiq Khan was a good thing. So he wasn't holding any grudges then, was he? But just days later, Khan decided to slam Trump again, calling his views ignorant and that Trump was inadvertently playing into the hands of extremists.
No, Sadiq Khan was all the way around.
So after all of that, Trump decided that it's not worth being friendly with Sadiq Khan. He then challenged him to an IQ test and stated, I will remember those statements. They are very nasty statements. A year later, after the terror attacks in Borough Market and London Bridge, Trump suggested in a tweet that Khan has said there was no reason to be alarmed.
And King Charles, there's no reason to be alarmed because King Charles was more saying that the Muslims are the victims. The Muslims are the victims. How about King Charles? Stick up for the Christians that are the victims. How about King Charles put his hands in his pockets and give the churches some money so that they can support the Christians and the veterans? No, you don't see him doing that, do you?
Because Khan has said the public should not be alarmed by the increase in...
by the increase of police, so that costs us more money. Well, still be alarmed because the police won't do fuck all anyway, and that was in 2017, and it's still the same now in 2025. Why would King Charles give him a knighthood in 2025 after all of Sadiq Khan's done fuck all?
Police presence on London's streets. I wonder who you think is right about that one.
Apart from causing crime, apart from Sadiq Khan causing more crime, why would King Charles give him a knighthood? Give King Charles a round of applause, the cunt, the selfish, spoiled bastard. Queen Elizabeth, she should have given him a fucking slap. She wasn't her best mother, was she? Because she didn't bring that up right. She changed his fucking religion.
1 month later, Khan called on the government to cancel Trump's state visit to the UK, and then bizarrely, in 2017, Khan told The Guardian he was a reluctant participant in this ongoing row with Trump. He even added this: "We're not school children," he said. "He's the president of the United States, so I'm unclear what his beef is with me." Of course, weeks later, he then gave permission for the massive, insulting blimp of Trump to be flown on the streets of London during Trump's first state visit. So much for not being like school children, hey,
but then they don't like any flags, but they didn't mind that, though, did they? Sadiq Khan.
For his intervention in American foreign and domestic policy. The same comments that actually started this feud in the first place.
Fucking King's fault, because
even after he was gracious to the mayor continued to attack him. This is where the beef started, Mr. Khan. You seem to suffer from a short-term memory loss.
With BBC.
And how can we forget Khan's comments back in 2019 when he said that a Trump's rally was comparable to the fascists of the 20th century?
And really it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Can anyone blame the President of the United States for his feelings towards Sadiq Khan? Not only were his comments in the world exclusive interview with our Beth Turner mostly absolutely spot on about London, but the mayor himself started the feud and continued to fan the flames even when the President presented an olive branch. Sadiq Khan is not fit to lead our city, a city that has now become a crime statistic explosion since his election. A city that has seen more strikes under his watch than any other mayor in history. A city
Why would King Charles give him a knighthood for? Look, thank you. What for, King Charles? He's caused it, King Charles.
Roaming, smartphone snatching gangs. Trump is rarely wrong. And I don't think he was wrong.
And I wonder why he's not gone to work with fucking King Charles. Yeah, because he said he's got cancer.
What feels like pretty significant.
Please, I hate this part. Don't do that. I don't give a bugger. We know. Money. Because the fucking government. King Charles taking it all. Terrorists like King Charles and the government. You should get out. I'm not being out.
AJ Pritchard, author and academic Dr. Lisa Mackenzie, and former New Scotland Yard detective Peter Blakesley. Kai, I'll start with you. We couldn't get any other lefties to come here tonight to defend Sadiq Khan, so you're the best we could do.
No one went to defend Sadiq Khan apart from King Charles and give him an
It's not like this feud with Trump. He forgot who started the feud.
They forgot this part, they forgot the part where King Charles was giving him an
I disagree a little bit about his no-go zone stuff, but we are seeing more of it.
Put that part in TV News.
What do you make of Trump's comments?
Look, it's so ridiculous, isn't this? This Twitter feud has gone a bit too far. I think Sadiq Khan and many other politicians in Britain didn't quite realise what they were getting themselves into when they were bloviating and saying all these stupid things. And I think they regret it. Sadiq Khan should have known better.
Yeah, they should have. Get out.
Right?
He's an horrible
Donald Trump now blatantly interfering in the capital's politics is pretty different as the sitting president of the United States.
Deporting back to Pakistan.
Years ago, saying silly things on Twitter.
We don't need him as a mayor. That's English. We want a new mayor, that's English.
We're talking about Khan. Has London got better in the 9 years that he's been in office?
Why would King Charles give him a knighthood?
On Sharia no-go zones, I don't think anything
Sharia no-go zones. Sharia no-go zones. Why is there Sharia no-go zones? Why is there Sharia law there? Why?
Some things have got better.
Because of King Charles.
I like going around London. I haven't lived here.
You don't like going around London. He doesn't like it. Oh, you fucking little bastard. So he's willing to come on here and speak, stand up for Sadiq Khan, but he doesn't like going around London, you little bastard, yeah. You fucking little mojo. you little weasel.
About Khan. Has London got better in the 9 years that he's been in office? Answer me that question, please.
On crime, on Sharia no-go zones...
On Sharia no-go zones? What does it mean? On crime, on Sharia no-go zones. So, on them fucking, where the Sharia laws are, it's a no-go zone for anybody else in England. That's Christian. Why would King Charles give him a knighthood? Because he's changed his religion, King Charles. The other guy on the other thing, he was lying. Well, we'll get down to that in a minute with him, because we'll put that back in here. Because you're not getting away with it, King fucking Charles. Don't think so, mate.
I don't think anything that Donald Trump said is accurate.
No, that's not a question. Has London got better in the 9 years
he didn't answer the question, though, did he?
Has been mayor?
Some things have got better, some things have got
Name
better.
one.
Well, I like going around London. I haven't lived here.
Name one.
I like going around London. I haven't lived here.
Name one that's got better.
No, I didn't live here 9 years ago. I couldn't tell you. Well, what I can tell you is I feel safe going around London. I think that Sadiq Khan pretty much represents what I stand for.
Bullshit.
It's a welcoming city. I reckon that. I think it's increasing. It's not at the minute after Amy LeMay has left. As nightlife czar, things can get better. We shouldn't be so declining about the state of this city.
London has not got better in the last 9 years. The one improvement that's been made is the Elizabeth line, but that, of course, was commissioned and construction started on that.
The Elizabeth line's bring more fucking packies here. I'm not being funny. Want to bring more Sharias here?
Just about every other
more dinosaurs
every
here.
other facet, from the leafy suburbs to the very centre of this great city, things have got round.
Charles a fucking night. Give him a round of applause.
What do you think about Trump's comments regarding Sadiq Khan? I think if somebody's going to call you sexist, misogynistic, Islamophobic, like you're not going to take that.
Donald Trump.
It's not very nice.
I'm on Donald Trump's fucking side. And Sadiq Khan, we should deport him.
I think when it comes down to London and feeling safer, I don't know how you can seriously sit there and say you feel safer. Like the one thing, Winter Wonderland just opened right now.
And maybe the rest of the Pakistani people that do live here can get some fucking peace.
It appears to be like gangs of men.
I was going to say we won't have gangs of men because Sadiq Khan.
You have dog units on both sides of the park.
So if we get rid of him, we might get rid of the rest.
And then the bottom of Park Lane, the knife crime that just happened on Friday, the encampment that's slowly getting bigger every single day.
Yeah, the knife crime that's just happened on the train, the rubbish, the shit. Why would King Charles give him a knighthood? That's one thing you don't speaking about on here though, isn't it, yeah, a bit woke.
Winter Wonderland, the amount of security is
unbelievable.
So I can feel safe when I go through, but still, like...
You still don't feel safe.
That's crazy.
I would hope that politicians...
I don't feel safe because I don't want big fucking security guards with guns and all that.
It makes everybody
watching me.
Yeah,
no, I don't.
We love to laugh at David Lammy. I love to laugh at David Lammy. But, you know, it's
not because
unserious comments.
Trying to rob somebody, do something.
You know,
because
and then Khan has done it, and Trump does it back.
Want that.
We've got serious problems in the world. We've got serious problems in this country. We need serious people. And I think
we haven't got that.
Over Twitter and over social media.
We haven't got any of them because of King Charles, Sadiq Khan, fucking Keir Starmer, Tony Bastard Blair, and the rest of them.
Type of politics we
get rid of all of them.
I think you're totally right. People like to see people owning up to their mistakes and saying, you know what, I got this wrong, but
and the rest of them.
You know, he could get some common ground here.
Sadiq Khan, Jimmy moved back to Pakistan. Well, they don't belong here, they're not born here, they don't belong here. They go back to Pakistan. There's no reason for them to be here in England. We don't need them to do them jobs. We've got English people, thank you.
With a leader of the free world and you make such
that are born in England, born on the British Isles. You're not British unless you're born on the British Isles.
The man just couldn't put his...
How can you be British unless you're born on the British Isles? And your parents are British.
Lami's almost apologised.
Their parents ain't British. You're not born here. You shouldn't be here. Sadiq Khan shouldn't be Sadiq Khan knighthood.
So
he shouldn't even be the Lord Mayor.
It's just that Sadiq Khan is a small man.
He's a nasty,
a small man,
revolting
nasty man.
Don't
matter how small somebody is. Don't go off that
way that he dealt with
Don't go off how small somebody is. I'm only tiny.
He, as Mayor of London, chairs in an effort to obfuscate, duck the truth.
Well, then who's he being bullied off then? Sadiq Khan.
Of course, what has happened subsequent to that? 9,000 rape gangs,
yeah.
Look, I think
and that's what they want my little girl for, pedo services.
But he's trying his best. He's got a really...
That's why they've wrongly falsely adopted her.
Lots of people out there to get him, so I hope he gets a breakthrough.
Get him and fucking get him out there. Get back to Pakistan, you fucking cunt. Fuck you. Send him back to Pakistan, because we've had enough of we've had enough of Sadiq Khan. We send fucking King Charles with him, because King Charles is just complicit with that. He's a liar. And then in this he said, oh no, they don't think he has changed his religion. We fucking has. I don't like you for that. Don't bring that twat online again.
Recent meeting with King Charles.
Because I'll be telling you, love.
What his concerns are.
What my concerns are is he has changed his fucking religion. My name's Caroline Poynton.
Social media and the mainstream.
My granddads, my ancestors are coming through quite strongly, through spiritually. And they've been telling me that King Charles is fucking complicit with Hitler. Oh, yes. They used to work with Hitler. They know Hitler. My family do know Hitler. They were the ones that Hitler was the enemy. My family went to war with Germany and France and the Spanish War and the fucking war with fucking Scotland and Ireland and Wales. My family have been to the wars with every fucking world. Most of the world. Apart from probably the brand new ones, which is now. You know, which is like the Ukraine war and this war now. But the old wars, World War I and everything else, my family have been to war with these people. So my granddads know about Hitler. I don't know about Hitler because I wasn't born. Or maybe I was born, but maybe I was only a baby or something, so I wouldn't really know. It wasn't in my lifetime. But King Charles would know a bit. And Queen Elizabeth knew. Oh yeah, they all knew because they all lied. And King Charles he's changed his religion. I'll tell you why. Well, he can't advocate to kill the fucking Muslims. Sorry, not the Muslims. Sorry. Other way around. The Jews and the fucking Christians. When he's fucking Christian, can he? So, he'll have to change his religion and then he can advocate to kill the Jews and the Christians and kill his faith.
Tiptoeing around it. Has King Charles converted to Islam?
Yes, look
these
at him.
These are the questions
look
people
at that,
want to know, but these are the questions no one is asking.
And he's a liar and he's in the Bible.
Exclusive clip.
Yeah, well, I might watch some of it, but I don't need to watch it all because I tell you what, he's a liar. He's in the fucking Bible.
Where I put all of these questions to Bishop Kai and he does not
I've
hesitate
watched that before
in
as well.
what he tells
about
you.
Islam.
And it's important to remember, insiders, that there are over 500 million Muslims within the Commonwealth. Yeah. So is King Charles trying to honour everybody, make them feel comfortable, show respect for their faiths?
But he's not. He's changed his own religion. So he's not showing any respect.
As the head of Church of England,
failed.
To prioritise Christianity.
Failed because he's changed his own religion, which is
difficult
a failure.
Questions and tricky conversations, but
you
they
can respect
are
other people's religion. Hang on, just because he's Christian, it does not mean he can't respect anybody else's religion. He could have still stayed Christian and still respected people's religions. In fact, because he's changed his religion, he's now disrespecting everybody's religion and every religion. Because he's sinned the Bible. Treason. And he's let the devil in.
Bishop Kai, welcome to Laura and the Insider.
Don't bring him back
Grace
on again.
peace be with you, Lauren.
Bishop,
Thank you for
whoever
having
you
me
are,
on. It is lovely
fuck
to
off,
see you.
don't lie.
And it's lovely to see
Because on the
you
end of this,
in
you
some
don't
form
think
of
he's
talk.
changed his
Well,
religion. Well, I don't.
and
I do.
Well, you know, good
You're
old
lying,
M&S.
mate. Don't lie.
I am so thrilled that you've joined a conversation that I feel needs to be had.
Because you don't want to
It's
upset
a slightly
somebody.
taboo
Well,
subject
fuck
at the
you off.
moment because I think a lot of us
You
feel
don't
like
want
we
to
are
get
walking
banned off
through
YouTube. Well,
sinking
fuck off.
sand and not being heard. And so
Because you're not getting heard.
I just want to get
Nothing's getting heard
down
because
to
no one's
what
listening.
I've been dying to ask you.
Okay.
King Charles, because I have a lot of royal followers from the Commonwealth and around.
Not that I'm a
around the
royal
world
follower. I couldn't
that
give
are
a fuck
part
who
of
he is,
this
really.
channel.
I hold him
I
responsible
feel like
for my
there's a
little
general
girl
feeling
and my family.
within this country.
My
and the
granddad's a
Commonwealth
fucking
that potentially
a
King
turn in
Charles
his
is
grave
not doing
because of him.
enough to uphold Christian values. And
No,
so
he
before
doesn't.
I ask you about this, I just
And he
want
doesn't
to give
advocate
the
for the
insiders
veterans. He doesn't
the
advocate for anybody else that's got
definition of what
cancer.
King
He's
Charles's
a
role
selfish,
is
mad-ass,
as
coward
the head
bastard.
of the Church of England, because he is the supreme governor. And this is what that means in practice, insiders.
And he
The
doesn't do
title
any of
means that
this.
King Charles is the formal head of the church.
And he don't do any of that.
The Archbishop of Canterbury is the church's spiritual leader. King Charles's role is
celebrates
mostly
Ramadan, but
symbolic
don't
and
celebrate
constitutional,
English, Christian.
not about making theological decisions.
Yeah, well, he does.
He is
political.
a defender of the faith.
He does make
One of his
political
official
decisions because he
titles
made.
is defender
Hang on,
of the.
he made political decisions about the fucking Rwanda plan. That's why fucking Keir Starmer shoved the Rwanda plan off so quickly because of King Charles.
Faith, a title first granted to Henry VIII by the Pope in 1521. It reflects the monarchy's duty to protect
well, I've got
and
Henry
uphold
III that Sir William Poynton got sacrificed for or something, going against the king or something, basically being a rebel against the king, basically probably being a patriot like we are now, going against the king, like I'm going against the king, because he's going against the people and his religion, and he's in the Bible, he swore an oath, he swore in the court of law, which is then treason. It's in the Bible and he's treasoned the country. He's treasoned and it's in the Bible. And he's like, how many years, what these are going to say, down. He's basically let all the nice sides of this, of being the monarchies down. He's the princesses, the nice dressing up parts. He's let it all down, and he's let William and Harry down. He's let even his own sons down. And I just cannot believe him to be such a selfish person to do that to William. I just get out for himself. He should drop out and let William. Why has he become the king? Why did he not let William take over in the first place, knowing he had cancer, knowing he couldn't do the job, knowing he was going to get bullied, and he can't stand up for himself? Right, well, he can't stand up for himself, he can't stand up for the country. So that means he's not fit to be in the office. He's not fit to be the king. If he's not fit enough to be the king, then he should not be the king. If he's ill or whatever it is, he shouldn't be the king. So I'm not being nasty. I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm trying to, this is important. And why he's done this to the country. And why people are still trying to cover up and lie. No one wants to really speak about he has changed his religion. Because they can't find it. The reason why they're saying this is because they can't find any evidence. Because AI and Google is telling us there's no evidence. But there is evidence somewhere. They've hidden it. We know.
Teachings and practices of the Church of England. He took a coronation oath to maintain the laws of God and the true profession of the gospel, and to uphold the church.
A true profession, right? Laws of God and the true profession of the gospel, and to uphold the Church of England. Well, what does that really mean in its own form? True profession. The laws of God. So he's basically chose to hold the laws and the values and things like this that God would uphold on people or on anything, yeah? On the type of things that God might uphold, and to be the true profession. So basically, he's not upholding any laws of what God would uphold, and he's not been true to his profession of the gospel and uphold the Church of England. He's broke the Bible, he's sinned the Bible. He swore on oath.
Of the Church of England.
If he swore on oath,
making theological decisions. He is
he swore on oath.
That are part of this channel. I feel like there's a general feeling within this country and the Commonwealth that potentially King Charles is not doing enough to uphold Christian values. And so before I ask you about this, I just want to give the insiders the exact definition of what King Charles's role is as the head of the Church of England, because he is the supreme governor. And this is what that means in practice, insiders. The title means that King Charles is the formal head of the church. The Archbishop of Canterbury is the church's spiritual leader. King Charles's role is mostly symbolic and constitutional, not about making theological decisions. He is a defender of the faith. One of his official titles is Defender of the Faith, a title first granted to Henry VIII by the Pope in 1521. It reflects the monarchy's duty to protect and uphold the teachings and practices of the Church of England. He took a coronation oath to maintain the laws of God and the
so he took
his duty to protect and is Defender of the Faith, a title first granted to Henry VIII by the Pope in 1521. It reflects the monarchy's duty to protect and uphold the teachings and practices of the Church of England. He took a coronation oath to maintain...
He took a coronation oath. Well, what does coronation mean?
The laws of God and the...
Coronation oath to maintain the laws of God and
true profession of the
gospel,
and to uphold the
Church of England.
He plays a unifying ceremonial role in major church events and national religious services.
But he does not do any of that, though. I've not seen King Charles holding any of that. And when they say he should go to church, well, no, we probably don't have to go to church like these are going to say. Yeah, but on the other hand, you might say, don't be a hypocrite. Well, I'm not being a hypocrite. Like, you know, like now I'm recording it now. Well, I'm not being a hypocrite. Because I tell you what, King Charles has sworn an oath and everything else. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite. But I tell you one thing. He should be going to church. He should be going to church every week. And we should see him as the public every week in church. Yes, as public people, as the people of England, to the Christian people of England, if we can't go to church or we don't go to church. But we should be able to watch King Charles on BBC, on the BB bastard C, because it's made for the royal fucking family in the first place, to hold the Queen fucking coronation back then and all that, the BBC. Yeah. So, basically, we should be able to see King Charles every week back on the BBC, how it used to be on a Sunday every week on BBC. They used to have church. It could be in the morning. It could go to the one in the evening. It could go to the one in the morning. You don't have to go to all of them every single time. But in the morning or in the evening, King Charles should be in the Church of England. And that's what we should see on BBC. As if we like it. People like to see that or not like to see that. That's up to them. You don't have to watch it, do you? You can just watch something else. Now, I might well pay a BBC licence if that was the case. But because that's not the case, why should I pay King Charles?
Look, Kai, I have seen on the news today that people are now almost being berated for holding the cross and professing their faith.
Yeah.
And it's now being weaponized that they are Christian nationalists. What's going on?
Why?
The left are having an absolute meltdown over the fact that Christianity is once again rising in our country and around
rising
the world.
King Charles. Why would that be if King Charles didn't want that? King Charles doesn't want us to rise for Christianity.
And they are going to lose control because the Christian faith is subjugated by no man and no message. We have survived 2,000 years of repeated persecution, and unlike other faiths,
my granddad's have been over 1,000 years.
The Christian church still survives. In fact, it does more than survive.
It
thrives. Now, you mentioned a very important role of our king, defender of the faith.
The faith.
Our current king.
And this current king changed it to the faiths. Why?
Did that amendment change in the coronation oath to be defender of faiths? And the only thing that I have ever agreed with Archbishop Justin Welby on, when he was Archbishop of Canterbury, was his determination to ensure the king swore that oath as defender of the faith.
Faith,
and not multiple faiths.
Yeah, and not multiple faiths. So, but King Charles has gone against that. Yes, he has. And he swears on multiple faiths. He swears on Islam rather than on fucking Christian faith. Yep.
Sadly. Since then, that it appears our beloved king, who I do believe has some form of personal faith, is more a public defender of alternative faith, particularly the one that is championed by our current government, who are indebted and embedded with members of and finances from another faith that originates in the Middle East.
Sadiq Khan.
So I think that the king is truly failing to live up to the coronation oath that he swore.
Yeah, he swore on. So
I have great concerns about it because prophetically there is significance in numbers. I met King Charles, as he was then the Prince of Wales, 8 miles from my house, 9 weeks to the day that he became king. We had a conversation in the street.
You should still be doing that, and BBC should be playing that. That's what BBC are for.
Deep concern over. Our late sovereign lady of blessed and eternal memory passed on the 8th day of the 9th
That's what they do mainly, the
8 and 9, 8 being the
they are mainly for documentary things, like, you know, and the faith.
I believe in that significance. The Spirit of God has given our King a unique charge, and at the moment he's not living up to it. Because he is so...
the Bible, mate, changed his religion.
What's the word I'm looking for? I'll go with strange.
He's a strange
his personal beliefs. And right now, I think the majority of the country are feeling that he is failing to uphold Christian values.
Yeah. He's failing to uphold.
I would agree that he is. But I would also say that the king is upholding the Christian values that are being taught to him and handed down to him by an apostate, heretical, perverse Church of England. Because since the passing of our late sovereign lady, they have pushed an agenda they would never have dared to push when Queen Elizabeth II, the last great defender of the faith and probably the greatest champion of the Christian faith in British history, they would never have dared to do this when she was sat on the throne.
No, because she would have told them no.
I look at other things because I've been privileged to inside information as well. You know, just
she was a fucking coward.
When the Queen obviously has the
all speak to the governments and everything else.
When that became vacant after
Tony Blair's
Bishop Richard Chadwick, the former Bishop of London, retired, she specifically asked the male. And Welby and his cronies, the liberal left, just completely ignored that and putting Dame Sarah Morley, a female, knowing that the Queen didn't agree with female clergy, female priests and female bishops. And now that same Bishop of London will be elevated to the Archbishopric of Canterbury, and that has created the biggest schism in the Anglican Church since it's split from Rome in 1558. So we're in very dangerous territory, and the King must return to Christ or lose this nation.
Not going to. He's lost his nation already. He's already
when
lost
we look
it.
back at the late Queen, she had an amazing ability to be welcoming to everyone, but we never felt that the Christian faith was diluted at any point when she was doing that. And I think that's where there's so much outcry from people, because, you know, not everyone, to be a Christian, has to go to church every Sunday. And I know, Bishop Kai, you'll say to me, we need people in churches, and I do understand that. But there are people that come in many different forms to religion.
King Charles should be going to church. And we should be seeing our King in church every Sunday in the Church of England. And we should be seeing him on BBC. BBC usually should be the ones that should be holding that, the main thing of that every Sunday. The church service things that they used to put on every Sunday. I mean, not like I probably were watching it because it's probably boring. But I might watch it now. I'm older. When we was kids and my mum used to watch it, oh God, the church, the praise of the Song of Praise, it was called, or something like that. And you know, we should see the King in that. They should be on that, and they're not.
But it feels like, you know, Christianity is just being dragged through the mud at the moment. Yeah. When you spoke to King Charles, what was that conversation?
As well.
How did it go?
Not just in England.
Not just the Jews. He just shaking hands with my wife.
King Charles has not stuck up for Israel. Why is King Charles not sticking up for the Jews? Why is he not sticking up for the Jews? Because he's fucking changed his religion. That's exactly why. And he's lying at the end of it.
Moving away and turned back and looked at me and approached me and asked me if I was a local businessman. And then I said, no, sir, I'm a clergyman in the next turn over. And that was the catalyst, because the next question he asked me is, what's going to happen to the church? You know, do you have many people in your congregations? Yes. Blah, 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 blah.
I should be there. Short, brief, but
the conversation was one way I could see the concern in his eyes,
nobody feels safe to go to church.
I could hear the concern in his voice, in, you know, his intonation
all
and how
around
he was speaking. The
problem
is this, there is a valid point.
Look what's happened to our churches in England.
When people talk about they don't need to go to church, that's correct in one way.
But
now, the Bible says despise not the gathering of the saints, or neglect, I should say. Neglect
we should go to church, really, mate.
We should come together.
We should go back.
However, the church has negated its principle.
But we should have the King doing that for the Christians. We should have the King. That's what the King is for.
Something that would drive me in my ministry.
I was going to say yes. Well, people that drive us to be doing that. Hang on a minute, mate. Hang on a minute. The people that drive people like myself and anybody else to go back to the church would probably be the fucking King. Because if we see the King enjoying himself in the church, singing away, having a cup of tea, reading the Bible, having a pray, doing what you usually do in church, having a good chit chat, and that's on the church of the Song of Praise on a Sunday, and it's quite enjoyable. It's not, you know, it's not all just Bible-y bashing you, but they do all sorts of different, well, on there, they used to do all sorts of different, you know, they used to do different churches and different bits, and it did used to be quite good, that Song of Praise, or whatever it was called, on BBC 1 years ago. And now, I think that, yeah, but then King Charles should be doing that, that's his job. Well, no, that's his job. His job is to do that. So it's not my job to be going to church, but it's King Charles's job to go to the church and try and welcome people like me into the church. And other people, anybody else, or the young ones, the old ones, and me, what you call the middle-aged ones, middle-aged slummy ones, 43. You know, the middle-aged slum ones that don't want to get off the couch like myself because I don't feel safe going anywhere. I don't feel safe getting a taxi. I don't feel safe walking. You know, but if King Charles was going to the church and making people feel safe and making it welcome and people singing and doing what they used to do in a church, then people would go. But because he's not going there, why would anybody else want to go there?
Okay, I was planning the next one for January. Looks like we'll be doing the next one in less than 2 weeks' time because of the number of people coming forward saying Bishop can't want to be baptized. Our late sovereign lady had a unique kind of faith because she was a lady that walked in personal relationship with Christ. She was a lady of devout faith, of devout prayer. That is not something I can say of our current king.
King Charles,
which is why I said earlier on, I believe he has a form of faith. I just don't believe it's as personal,
have a form of faith.
as devout and as strong as our former queen. And that faith that she had was the thing that drove her in everything that she did. It was the thing that strengthened her in everything that she did, through trial and test, through hardship and heartache, through national mourning that we went through times of conflict, through personal tragedy in her own life, in a period where, you know, the monarchy was completely rejected at one point because of how they tried to deal with the late Diana, Princess of Wales, and her sudden passing, all of these things. It is the faith that she had in Christ that rooted her deeply and gave her the strength to keep going. And I believe that it was that faith that gave her the strength of leadership that kept her on the throne and kept her leading not just this nation but the Commonwealth for 70 years. And unfortunately, because of his really strange system of beliefs, our current king does not, in my opinion, and I am no judge of anybody's soul, but the outward evidence demonstrates he does not share that personal faith that his mother had embraced for the entirety of her life.
Not about just his mother, his Christian faith. He doesn't share that.
My inbox has been full of people asking, do you think King Charles may have moved to another faith?
Yes, I do.
Personally, I don't.
I do.
I think King Charles is, because of his unique system of beliefs, I think the current king is in a very compromised position. We have a socialist government with an anti-monarchy agenda. We saw it under Blair. They have the numbers, should they wish to, in Parliament to try and pass acts of Parliament to dissolve the monarchy.
I don't change what I'm saying.
I don't think he has the strength of character that his mother had to tell the Prime Minister, shut off.
I'm not reading off a script, and I've not changed anything I've said on this one or the other one that I've made. I've said everything the same. And I'm not reading off any transcript. Mine's out my own head. I'm sat in my own living room in Bury, Manchester. I don't read off any script. This is all out of my own head. Everything I've put together. I've put the jigsaw together. And the pieces seem to fit. Sometimes some pieces don't fit. So I think, oh no, might need to change that piece and put the other piece in. Might need to swap the pieces around sometimes. But literally, once you've got, basically, if you get a big jigsaw, once you've got your outer side and, you know, you start to get your middle in. Your middle bit's always the hardest bit to get fitted into, you know, the middle bit, the picture, the jigsaw. Especially if you've got like 1,000-piece jigsaw and you've got little tiny pieces. The middle bit of these tiny pieces are so hard to try and, you know, and one might fit together. You might fit actually a piece together and then you'll come back and you'll think, oh no, I'll have to swap that piece because that piece isn't actually the piece that fits in the jigsaw that way. So unless you get your whole pieces together, all the jigsaws together, and you've put the jigsaw together, you won't see the whole picture. So once you put the jigsaw together and all the pieces are correct, in the correct order as the jigsaw should go, then you get the whole picture. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just putting all the pieces together with King Charles, Sadiq Khan and everything else that's going on in the country, and it's all going together in a big jigsaw. And finally, some pieces are starting to add up. That fucking Sadiq Khan started this with Donald Trump. Well, it wasn't just Sadiq Khan, it was the government. So it was probably Tony fucking Blair in the first place and King Charles. It was King Charles and Tony Blair. King Charles has always been solid with Tony Blair.
Using the polite version, of course. And I think because of that, and because of the precarious state the monarchy finds itself in, because of scandals like...
Yeah, the strangles, he's changed his religion.
Parliament to dissolve the monarchy.
He's a coward.
And I don't think he has the strength of character that his mother had to tell the Prime Minister, shut off. I'm using the polite version, of course. And I think because of that, and because of the precarious state the monarchy finds itself in, because of scandals like the Harry and Meghan issues, and anything else, the former Duke of York, the former Prince Andrew, and the Epstein connections. I think he's trying to play the political game with the government that could effectively remove or abolish the monarchy to remain intact and hold us together as a constitutional monarchy instead of a federal state. I just don't think he's going about it the right way. And if he had the kind of personal relationship that I know in my relationship and my walk with Christ, he would find the strength in that to be the strong king that he needs to be, and if that strength was shown,
and fight with the people,
like his mother had shown, when you get a prime minister like Keir Starmer, who I can guarantee it, given the opportunity, because he's advised by that idiot Tony Blair, would turn us into a federal republic overnight.
Yeah.
If he exhibited that kind of strength, I think they would back off and realise we better not tangle with the monarchy, because at the end of the day, the king still has the power to prorogue Parliament and to dissolve this Parliament, which, given the state that the country is in today,
and then in another one,
given the number of lies that we have seen from this current government, the number of false promises they've made, the fact that they have not stuck to anything that was in their manifesto, the fact that they're trying to bring in laws to suppress every person in this country, not just people of any particular religion or societal group, things like the digital IDs and the connotations of that. If we really had a strong king, and I believe if Queen Elizabeth was sitting on the throne right now, she'd have prorogued Parliament. And I think the king needs to show the country that I stand with the people, not the political elite, and actually use the power that still rests in the crown and do something about it. If he doesn't, the future of the monarchy is very much in doubt, in my opinion.
Insiders, over 52% of you are not subscribed, but still in
religion, and that's what pissed me off with the back end of that one. Why I have to lie? Do not lie.
What do this poem, this mass, King Charles, and Pope Leo XIV have to do with each other? The reality is that they have a lot to do with each other. And with this recent meeting between the Pope and the King, the Bible has once again proven itself true. This meeting went unnoticed by many, but it was historic, yet relatively few people understood its prophetic and spiritual significance.
All right, let us turn to what is taking place before our very eyes in the Sistine Chapel in Rome. We'll return to other matters to do with news a little bit later. But the biggest news is that for the first time in 500 years, the head of the Catholic Church and the head of the Church of England will be praying together. The head of the Catholic Church is, of course, the monarch, in this case being King Charles, the Catholic Church being led, of course, by the Pope. But on this particular day, Colin, what history is about to unfold is pretty extraordinary.
As you mentioned at the beginning, this only took half a millennium to happen, 500 years.
To truly grasp what we just witnessed, we have to go back in time over 500 years to an age of intrigue, persecution, and protest. Because what is happening today was foretold 2,000 years ago in the book of Revelation, when it said that the deadly wound would be healed. But before we go back in time, I want to talk to you about this mask, because this mask represents how the media can affect such a significant change in the perception of people. as it relates to history, and more specifically, Roman Catholicism.
I'll have to record this
The
another
irony
day.
of this
Thank you
mass
very
is
much.
stunning to